Character design is provided by Demon Artie. Be sure to check her out over on her social media platforms. Links to her Twitter and Instagram are going to be in the description down below. Welcome everyone back to the Crimson 15 podcast. I'm your host, Crimson Sen.
15 PCA. 87454.
Be sure to check us out over on Twitter at C15 Podcast. Join the discussion over on Discord, link in the description below. And if you're enjoying the videos, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit that bell for notifications. The Owl House, Season 2, Episode 1, Separate Tides, and a pretty weak episode. You guys can check out, I do little mini reviews over on TikTok. There's a link in the description where I'll do like a quick little 30-second review, and then I do the big long review. So be sure to check that out over there. But I just can't get over how mediocre this first step was. Things happen, but not really. Luce is like a complete, utter badass. She's doing all kinds of crazy stuff with her magic. And not only what bothers me the most isn't the magic, it's the physicality of the things she's doing. She's just a little girl. She's doing straight up ninja stuff. And I just hate it because what's her weakness then? Nothing. She has this insane amount of magic that apparently has no limit. Like she can just keep, as long as she has the papers, she can make it happen. And she's doing all this physical stuff too. I kind of hate it. And the B plot with Lilith, is it her like bonding with Hootie? It's nice, but I don't know. They could have done that a little differently. But yeah, pretty disappointed in this first episode. But we start up with what was in the trailer where Luce is walking out. Oh, I am the good witch, Luce, and take this sucker. Like she's gonna do like the little RPG version of her staff, which I think is pretty funny.
Now eat this, sucker!
But Star did that too. I mean, almost exactly the same. So we see the big giant shadow monster, and just like I predicted, let's go back in time. I'm assuming every time this happens in a cartoon, it's really something small, or it's fake, or someone's making a shadow puppet because the shadow isn't that big. It's going to be something tiny, and the light's coming from below. It's probably not as scary as it is. It was a small creature using the shadow to make itself look bigger. It's almost like I could write a terrible show. Not saying the show's terrible. It's just, if I can call it out, it's not that clever. So it's like this evil dude, and we see that Luce is monster hunting, you know, getting bounties. So they capture this guy. King tries to eat him. And King, I don't like it when King acts like an animal. Like he's like, he bites the little creature. I'll drop it, and he's like running around like a dog. He doesn't talk. And he's just like if a dog grabbed a treat and he wasn't supposed to, and he's running around, running away from your master. Why is he being more animal-like? I don't know. We get the opener, which is pretty nice. I do like the new opener. And even though we get the scenes from the old opener, like when they're running from that big monster, you can see that Ida, her eyes gray and her little gems blacked out. So they did update that. I thought that was it's a little detail. It's not very important, but it's cool that they kept that continuity where they realize, oh, she does look different now. Pretty cool. They captured this dude, and then Luce does her little like video vlog thing. And why is it so pixelated? Like it has like the little pixelated squares. How old's her phone? I don't. That wouldn't have that unless I guess if she put the filter on there to make it look like an old camera. But why would she do that? I'm thinking they just did that to let you know that, oh, she's being recorded. But it wouldn't look like that. Not in the phone that's been made in the last 20 years. It wouldn't look like that. But she just recaps the show, all season 1. Basically trying to tell her mom, oh, things are happening. There was an evil guy, Bellows, tried to attack Ida. She lost her magic because of the curse that her sister put it on her. But it's almost like the curse didn't remove all their magics because they can kind of start a spell, but then it kind of fizzles out. So there's going to be a way for them to get their magic back. They're going to do something. They're going to drink. They're going to find a cure for both of them, and they're going to be able to get their magic back because it's not completely gone. Then talk about Lilith, and Lilith looks pretty sad because she ruined her sister's life and almost killed her, and then now that both their lives are like in the dumps. But it is nice that they're able to live together, and Ida isn't like holding that against her. I'm hoping there's going to be some more conflict there because Lilith, you were willing to kill Luce to get at Ida. That's some serious stuff, and hopefully like this look at her, she's like thinking, and hopefully she's thinking about those things and trying to fix it. You know what the saying you're sorry is the first step, and then making it right to the bed. Sometimes you can't make it right, but you're gonna have to do your best to try to make it right. So hopefully Lilith kind of goes through that. We don't see that in this episode, but hopefully it does. Then like Hootie's always bothering her, and it's kind of cute that they kind of bond a little bit. Then remember Ida's whole thing about getting money was going to Earth and then stealing human stuff and then selling it, but they don't have that anymore, so they have to do monster hunting. And then she like makes like this freaking spear thing, and she's like gonna test it out, and she almost kills King with it. Come on, put it on. It's like a hat. Like, are you crazy?
Hey, King, did you know that apple is a hat? Really?
King! No! King!
But then, just to let you know that she can speak Spanish, she speaks Spanish. She basically just says, "I'll be home soon." The rough translation. My Spanish is horrible, but from what I can get, she's saying that she's going to be home soon, so don't worry about me, Mom. I'll be safe. I'll be home soon. She tries to send it, and it doesn't work. But remember, dum-dum, you destroyed the door. There's no way the signal can get out. So she just has it saved in her phone, but I guess when they get the portal open, she can send all these messages. They're making their way to town to go drop off all their bounties. So I guess they caught a bunch of monsters. So then look at this whole thing. It's filled with they're small little creatures, but there's bounties on these guys. They put a big statue of Belos in the freaking town square, and there's like guards everywhere. So are they actively searching for Ida and Lilith? I would imagine that they would still be wanted, but I don't know. Does Belos think just because their magic's been diminished, he's not going to go after him? But I don't know if that's true either. Like, why wouldn't these people turn her in for all that money? It's weird because I don't know. Can someone explain to me in the comments? Is she still wanted? I would imagine, especially Lilith. You got some explaining to do, but I guess they just don't care. And they go to the guy to turn in the bounties, and he freaking gyps them. These bounties are worth freaking like tons of money, and he gives them like half a penny or whatever, a crown. Do they call them crowns? And she's like, what did you do that for? Oh, what are you going to do to me? You got no magic. So he's willing to rip Ida off, literally like completely rip her off, but he won't turn her in for money. What sense does that make? She gets all pissed off, tries to do a spell, but of course nothing works. But we see later in the episode, my goodness, Luce is insanely strong. So it's like Luce freaking teaches guy a lesson because he is stealing from them. He's like not giving him the work that they've done. So then like it's kind of funny because she can't do anything, so she gets all pissed off, and then everyone's just kind of ignoring her, which is how Ida is always like, oh, I'm gonna do what I want to do. I don't want no one bothering me. Now everyone doesn't treat her like anything because she doesn't have magic. It kind of pisses her off, which is funny. Then Lilith kind of gives her guff. Oh, but at least I'm still like, I'm still a symbol. And she like does like, remember she's on that poster or whatever. But then it gets like destroyed. And this guy's wearing too real of a baseball cap. And I complained about this in season 1. The bowling aisles needs to be more fantasy than technology. And it's starting to creep in, especially what we saw in the trailer. I don't like it. Whatever. So they're replacing it with this Golden Guard guy. Remember that Owl Knight dude that we saw? I guess he's the head. He's running the show now. And Lilith's like, oh yeah, this douchebag. He was like a prodigy, super smart teenager. And he's like, I hate him. He's just full of himself and everything. I'm like, oh geez, he's exactly the archetype that I didn't want. I'm like, oh, but I still had hopes. Maybe he's not going to be this kind of sassy jerk character. He completely is like the bully jerk jock, kind of like, and he's trying to crack jokes, and it doesn't work for me. Let me know. Do you like him? I think he has a cool design, and then we see a little bit of his face like in the opener. I think he's got that going for him. I don't like his attitude at all, but I guess he's supposed to be a bad guy, so we're supposed to hate him. So mission accomplished. But then like the thing keeps sticking to her face. I guess I don't know if they did that to her because she ripped it off the wall, so it's like punishing her. Then like, we got to do bigger scores. We have to get bigger bounties so we can get more money. And there's like this big sea monster that's been terrorizing the coast. Keep that in mind, terrorizing the coast. They're like, oh, let's get this guy. Then Ida's like, no, that guy's way too strong. How about we go after this dude? And he's like this happy-go-lucky like lollipop guy. And he's like, and there he is. But look at the bounty on this dude. That would give them enough money for like, a week or two of food. I don't know how much money cost here. I mean, like what the exchange rate, like is 1 crown like $1? Like, I don't know. But she climbs up there and just captures him, and it's like super easy. I don't know how Luce heard this. There's a pretty big gap. She's on top of a freaking statue. It's a busy marketplace, but Ida and Lilith are having a conversation, and it's kind of like, oh, hey sis. I like how Lilith still has the thing on her face, so she can't really, she's responding, but you can't even understand what she's saying. She's like, hey, these things aren't cutting it. We don't have enough money for food. And I spent the last of the money on these eggs because I know that's something that Luz can eat and she likes it. And since she's human and a lot of food here doesn't really work well for her, I want to make sure we at least have some of her favorite foods. And that's what a guardian does, what a carekeeper does for a child, a mother, an older aunt, a sister. You sacrifice for the young ones. That's how it's always done. But Ida somehow hears that from a million miles away, and she feels bad because I'm a burden. She's wasting the last of her money on me, and if it wasn't for me, none of this would have happened. But you can't do that. She even says that here. I can't change the past, but I can change the future. That is true, but then she's still harping on the past. Ida's not complaining. She knows it's a problem, but she never said, oh man, I can't believe you put me in this mess. None of that happened, but you have those guilty feelings she wants to provide. So she's, you know what, I'm going to go take on that job, that big job. Puts it down, accepts it from the Hunters Guild or whatever. Very RPG-ish. And, you go to the bulletin board. Oh, you got a job. You got to hunt the thing. So she goes to join this, it's like on a ship. And it's like a pretty cool looking steamboat looking thing. She signs up, but then the guy looks up at the ship and sees that Golden Guard guy's up there. And does he have a name? I don't remember if they said his name. I'm awful with names. I do apologize. I'm going to say Golden Guard. Correct me in the comments if they actually said his name in the show yet. So he gives him the thumbs up. Oh, we got her. I'm like, oh, dang, this dude, did they set them up? Did he know that they were doing these odd jobs? But why not just go and get her? I don't know. It's weird. Why would you toy with her? Just get rid of her. Especially now that she doesn't have any powers. Just go into the house and just capture her. Get back to the house, and I just love the sisters. They're my favorite. Oh, the show is all about Eden and Lilith. They'd be the best show ever. So she's giving her all kinds of guff. Hey sis, I know what I can do. I can't. She's wearing a belt with all the bottles on it. She looks pretty cool. I like it. It's like a little bottle grenades and what's this? A bolo, a bandolier. That's what it's called. Like a bandolier, but it's all potions. She's like, you know what I can do? Ida, I think she's gorgeous, but she's like, hey sis, you want to try one? She's like, no, just leave me alone. I don't want to deal with this. But hey, I don't have magic, but I can still make potions. Remember, she was on the potions track when she was in school. So she's like, oh, I'll go to these and sell these at the market and we'll make some money that way. She's like, oh, you can come and help me. No, I don't want to, but okay, you can just sit here and think about that curse you put on me and ruined our lives. She's just being sisterly, teasing. She leaves. And then it's just Lilith, and she does feel bad about everything that happened. She did screw everything up. Look at this face. That's a face of remorse. That's a face of, what am I going to do to make it right? Then she's like, you know what? I can make potions too. You know what? I want to make a potion that will be able to, it has a specific name. I don't remember. But where we can spy on the castle. And I can show this to Ida, showing, look, they're not after us. They're in disarray. They don't have me as a leader, so they're not going to be able to get us. And I want to show her that I still care. She rips the page out of the book. That's not necessary. Don't ruin books unless you have to. So just take the book with you. Then she's like, okay, this is easy. I can get all these ingredients. And then Hootie's like, oh, let me help you. And she's like, no, Hootie, that's okay. I don't want your help. Then and he's like, oh, come on. I like Hootie. He's fun. He's irritating, but he's a good friend. He's loyal. Getting all up in her face and everything. She's like, no, get away from me. I don't need your help. And he's like, oh, come on. I'll be your, I'm a good friend. I'm your best friend. No, leave me alone. Leaves. And then he's like, a good friend would listen to and just leave her alone. But a best friend would do whatever it takes. So he's trying to be your best friend. I love it. He's great. Some fun animation here with the ship passing by and everything. And Luz is as cute as a button. Pirate Luz. I love the look, the bandana, everything. Team Aqua. I love it. So this captain dude is like, okay, here's everyone that's coming after. They're going to help him hunt this monster. These dudes aren't going to be able to hunt nothing. These guys look like a bunch of slubs. And oh yeah, everyone here, we're got to pull your weight here. This isn't a game. But he hired a child. I don't I couldn't imagine her magical prowess being so good that she'd be able to fight this thing. But we'll see when they do. It's ridiculous. She's a superhero. Practically. She's like a Scarlet Witch, powerful, ridiculous. She just can do all these things. But I do like the one joke with the one guy, why he's here.
Money galore. We all do the work. We all get a cut. I have many debts. Till then, keep everything ship-shape.
Me and you too, buddy. Me and you. We're kindred spirits, me and this guy. I got all kinds of debts. but you have to be able to keep your keep around here. You're not just gonna be sitting around. So he kind of, this dude wants to not necessarily break loose, but kind of show her like, oh, I'm gonna show this girl she doesn't belong here. Got to clean the barnacles, but she's like using her magic to like help her, go get down there. Got to shovel the coal because it's a steamboat, but she just uses her flame powers to like power it up, and it makes it go super fast. And the guy's like, oh, maybe this girl does got the stuff. And then she's even doing a little pirate dance, but she had like a bug on her back. So like, I was like, what the heck? They're doing like little she Santy dances, but it was just because of this bug. He's like, hey, you really proved yourself. And of course you get the pirate puns because you are. King wants a cracker. Polly wants a cracker. He goes into like, I guess the captain's quarters area because he gets looking for the freaking crackers. Lights up the room, and we see it's covered in like all the sigils and the markings of the emperor. And he's like, holy crap, this is an emperor's ship. We need to get off this thing. I gotta get tell loose. But then we hear the owl guy, the Golden Knight dude, Golden Guard. And I don't like his voice. I know he's supposed to be a teenager, but this guy needs to get his butt whooped. He needs to get smacked around, knocked down a peg. I hate these arrogant ass characters. But he's like, you'll never get the chance. Get back to B plot. Again, this could have been its own episode. Like Lilith and Hootie could have just been its own thing, but they split it up. And every time it comes back to this plot, I forgot that it was a plot. So she needs some fire honey or whatever. Like, so she has to capture this Pokemon, or at least get its freaking honey, but she doesn't have magic. It's like she made a little tiny baby ice cube. She's like, well, I'm not gonna be able to freeze these things. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna fail my sister. Well, I'm worthless if I can't even do this. Then Hootie pops out. He's been following her this whole time. He's like, Hootie, no, I don't want you here. Get out of here. And then she kind of hurts his feelings. That kind of hurt my feelings. But yeah, you're just a stupid owl worm thing. I don't need your help. Get out of here.
You aren't me. You're just some kind of weird bird worm. You have no idea what I'm going through.
Then he's like, and he keeps calling her Lulu, but he's like, oh, I'm sorry, Lilith. And he just goes away. Yeah, she feels bad. Let's look at that face. But she was angry, and she has, I have self-confidence issues, but Hootie's trying to help you. So don't be like that. Accept the help. So, they're going along, and they're hunting the sea monster thing, and then they see it. Oh, sea monster thing, let's go get it. They throw like harpoons at it. I thought some of these guys would have magic, but I guess they don't. They're just throwing harpoons. Homeboy gets his head knocked off. But it just grows right back or whatever. I'm like, okay, he can put his head back on. So, okay, knocking this dude's head off won't kill him. Okay. Then Luce just has her magic, and freaking damn Avatar. It's too much. We never saw her train. She literally self-taught with these little papers, and she can do, look at this insane stuff. Look how strong this is. This thing's got to weigh a couple tons, right? Like 1,000+ pounds, 2,000 pounds. And they were going to just pull it aboard. And like how Luce is pulling, unless she did, remember the little constructors guild where you can give yourself more strength? If she did something like that, I'd be like, oh, okay, she gave herself like super strength. No, she's just pulling on a vine. They should have attached it to the thing that pulls up the anchor or whatever, so you have like a pulley system going on, but they don't care. They're just going to capture this thing. But it's strong enough to break out, and it swims away. And like, oh man, we lost it. But then in the shadows, we see someone grab the money, all the gold, and take off. I'm like, oh damn. I thought, is this the guard guy trying to draw Luce away? That's what I thought it was. Like, oh, then Luce, this girl has a big imagination, and I love that. But how did she know this would work? How did she know this was even a thing that would even halfway work? She makes a little ice thing. It's not like she should have shaped it into a boat, but it's just like a block of ice. Then she uses her fire spell to push. So like it's jet propelled. That wouldn't work. Equal and opposite reactions. For if this thing was strong enough to push this thing, it would push her right off. Like, it's stupid. It doesn't make any damn sense. But so she's just skating across the thing, and the guy's like, "Oh, you go get her," because he thought it was like a ghost. And I thought this dude was a bad guy. Like he yeah, we're gonna capture this girl, but I guess he won the captain's like approval. But it doesn't mean anything because I thought maybe they're gonna come help. No, they don't do anything. Since this is the Boiling Isles, her little thing it's melting away, and we end up on the island, and it was freaking Ida that stole the whole time. I love Ida's highwayman look here. Super cool. Outfits are always fun. I love when I see characters in like different looking ensembles and stuff. And this one's super good. She looks great in this thing. And like, Ida, it was you. What did you do it for? She's like, oh, just gonna just steal the money. Like, why even fight for that? You can just steal it. Then I guess she lost her legs, but remember, she can like remove her body parts. They did that like in a couple of episodes, but I guess it's a plot point now. So to kill Ida, because she even lost her head and she didn't die. So maybe if we cut her head in half? I don't know. It's weird. She can still live. But if she had diminished magic, but she's still magical enough for this to work, in the comments, explain to me how she able to remove her body parts. Is that not a magical thing, but a biological thing? I'm calling BS. Anyways, she's like, oh yeah, it was great. But then we see that guy show up. And he takes the money, and it's that dude, and he's kind of a jerk, and his staff looks a lot like Belos's staff, but like a baby version. And he's like, okay, you're captured, and I got your little bird here. And they're like, what do you mean? And he captured King. So you're going to it's weird because he doesn't want to capture her. I guess he would if they weren't going to do what he said, but he's like, hey, how about this? Since I was ordered to kill that thing, you guys need to kill it, and then I won't capture you. I was like, it's like a weird thing. Like, why even do any of this? And I'll give you back King. Then Ida's like, no, that thing's a peaceful creature. What? Didn't they say it was terrorizing the coastline? Obviously, I guess they were lying. But why didn't Ida say something right then and there, saying, no, I know these creatures. They would never terrorize anything. So they do this weird animal protection thing, just comes out of nowhere. Stupid, dumb. There should have been another thing, but it's just like a mama protecting its kid. They did this storyline in Amphibia way better. Well, it was like the freeze where all the toads got frozen. Then when they would unfreeze, someone would be missing. And they just assumed, I guess some monster came and got us. It was like a big ferret, and it was feeding its babies. So it wasn't evil. It was just doing what it had to do to survive. But it wasn't like, it's 100% good and we're 100% bad. They did it so much better in Amphibia. So he's like, no, you're going to do this thing. And he's like screwing with them. I guess he likes to screw with people. That's like his thing. So they have to kind of agree to it because they can't fight this guy. He's like, how about I just throw you in the sea and just kill you? And they can't really fight back. Luce didn't really use much of her magic here, but this dude is way stronger than her. Like, she tried to do like a fireball, and he's like, get out of here. Why is she wearing her magical cape? But whatever. He's like, hey, get in there, go do it. And I guess he may even makes her a sword. So go kill this thing, get it done. Get back to the other plot. Again, see how I forgot it? I forgot again. She's fighting Pokemon, and she's like, I'm pretty strong with a stick. And then it just burns the stick, and then she's like, it's over. I can't do this on my own. I need help. And then Hootie's like, you need help? I like to be helpful. And he basically saves her. I like this. Her little clap is so adorable. But yeah, Hootie went to town. He went to bat for Lilith. Even after she said all those horrible things to him, he's still willing to be a good friend and protector. Hootie's the man. +1 for Hootie. Get into this thing. We see a bunch of destroyed ships, and Nita's like, you can't kill this thing. It's peaceful. You're doing it. We can find another way. But Luce is like, I know everything you sacrificed for me. I can't let you do this. I have to provide for myself, and I have to provide for us because it's all my fault that this happened. They get into the fight with the monster at first, and then of course she just runs at it, and Ida kind of knocks her out of the way because this thing can shoot like little like spike missile things out of its belly, like a blowfish. Then she's like, no, Luce, this isn't right. You can't kill this thing. You're going to get yourself killed, and don't do this for me. How's dying for me going to make anything better? She's like, you know what? To tell the truth. Again, I want to play the whole clip, but I don't want to get demonetized. I'll try to play as much of the clip as I can.
So, unfortunately for you, my life is pretty great because I'm friends with Luce the human.
Here we go. So basically, it's everything that happened in the last episode, the last season episode. She's like, no, Luce, everything that happened, yeah, a lot of bad things happened, but you know what? You like opened my heart. And if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have been talking to my sister again. So like, you gave me back my sister, and just having you around like fills my heart. It makes me happy. So I'm glad that you're in my life. I like having Luce in my life has made it better, not worse. Lovely. I love it. It's great. I'm crying. I get a little tear in my eye. So does Luce. It's beautiful. But she's like, you know what? I got a plan. Want to learn how to use your first glyph. And then, so she's going to start teaching. I guess anyone can do it. So if I just drew on a piece of paper, it would work. I don't know. There's no explanation of why this works. then the other guys are screwing with King, and they do the same gag from the beginning. They do like a shadow. I'm like, oh, they're fighting the monster. Oh, then she stabs it and kills it. And she's like, okay, it's dead. Give me back King. You know, keep your word. And he's like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. And he's like just being his kind of silly stuff like Toodles, and he disappears. It's exactly what I didn't want in this character. Why couldn't he just be cool, not goofy? Ugh, I hate it. Then we see they just made basically a giant fake monster version, like they're just made out of weeds or whatever. Someone in the comments, again, I want more comment participation. Everyone in the comments, how did they know he wouldn't go check? Oh, it was like stinky or something. Oh, it's smelly. They were banking on that. What if you went over there and said, hey, wait a minute, this isn't the monster? They're so freaking lucky. But look how happy Ida is to like do magic again. She's like, oh, look, I'm making a bunch of little light spells. That was the light that they used to make the shadow. And then we see the baby, and it's all super cute and everything. And Ida's like, hey, you need to get out of here. It's way too dangerous. You need to go further out and see. Okay, perfect. Then, you know, it barfs up a bunch of like that, like it's belly fat. Like when you hunt whales, like their grease, whatever, like their fat is like worth a lot. So I guess this is too. And it's like, oh, this stuff's going to, basically that's their gold. That's their riches. Okay. So they solve their money problems for at least a month or so. They get back to the house, and Lilith is putting together the potion, and she's healing up Hootie. Hootie got stung by all those bees. He's like, oh, I'm just glad to help. And she's like, you know what? You're not so bad. She gives him a nickname like Hooterson or something stupid like that. He's like, oh, gee golly, a nickname. He just loves it. They're buddies. They're best friends. It's great. You want Hootie in your corner because, one, he is really powerful, and two, I'm pretty sure if you're his friend, he would totally die for you. Like, he'll do anything to keep you safe. Hootie's a badass. I love him. She, you know, and it's like, we're best friends now. And she doesn't want to say so, but like, come on, give him that. Hey, Ida, come check this out. I made a little potion for you. The spy on the castle. And they're just like goofing off. The guy's like, hey, what's up? Well, I don't know. She's like, hey, look, see, all these guys are in disarray without me. They're worthless. They're a bunch of dummies. And then like, you know, like, oh, cool. So I guess they're really not going to be coming after us. Why would you think that? And why would you just spy on just these little bit of guards? Wouldn't you want to spy on one of the big other witches and wizards and stuff? Whatever. But they're celebrating. It's great and everything. Thank you, sis. And then, you know, they get the little Hootie and Lilith moment. Pretty cool. But we see into the freaking cauldron, and I guess does it see through the wall? And then we see Bellows putting together the door, which was in the trailer. And then he's like, knock, knock. So he's got the door put back together. Pretty sure he needs that key. But why wouldn't he just send everyone after them to get it? Like, he knows where their house is. Why wouldn't he just go? Anyways, these ending credits, someone played Legend of Zelda. It's exactly the art style from freaking Legend of Zelda. It's cool looking. I love it, but it's a little bit of a copycat. But yeah, I liked Hootie, and I like Ida and Lilith. The recapping of everything that happened last season. Expect your audience saw it. You don't need to freaking redo. I know it was a little bit of time between seasons, but it's a waste of time. Why can Luce do everything? She's the niche. I don't know. There was a ninja witch freaking hybrid class, but yeah, that's pretty much what she is. And hopefully we get some more story. Flesh out the Golden Guard guy a little bit. Why is he such a pompous jerk? I know he's like a prodigy, but I'm sure we're gonna get backstory with that. But yeah. Decent first episode, 5 out of 10. It's just a little weak coming out of the gate.
How do I look?
That's in here. Thanks for watching the video. Remember, you can contact us on any of the social media platforms in the description down below. And while you're here, be sure to click on one of the videos over on the right.